up on my bullshit, back up on the move. Touchdown in my hometown, got nothing to lose. I am on my own now, I am in control now. Ain't need you to go now, I can fix my own.
What's up, my heathens? Okay, so it is your favorite mental health patient, and this is my second video today because I feel like I have not been dropping the way that I'm supposed to, and I feel like this is one of those stories that I'm really excited to tell. So before I get into this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications because, baby, it's about to get lit. So, as you can see from the title of this video, I am going to tell y'all about my Class X felony. Well, I caught a Class X felony of an aggravated arson. Now, let me tell y'all before y'all start to judge, we listen and we don't judge, okay? So, I caught this case back in 2021. Yep, back in 2021. I was living in Chicago. Mind you, I had never been out there. I had been living out there for a good little minute before I caught my case. I wasn't even out there for 6 months before I caught my case, which is really sad. I feel like there is a problem there. Anyway, so I was working at this restaurant, Italian Fiesta, on 47th and Lake Park. It's like right in the cut in the strip. There is a liquor store right there called Benny's. There is a, I think that was a Ross that was right there. It was some little store. I think it was Ross though. I think it was blue. Anyways, then there was Italian Fiesta, and then there was a Chase Bank, and then after that, it was a Walgreens. So, like I said, it's on 47th Lake Park. Those of y'all that live in Chicago know where it is. I stayed over on 81st and Anthony, where I got this house. When I got this house because I used to take care of this older lady. She was such a sweet old lady. I used to take care of her and her dog. She had a German Shepherd mutt mix. It was the ugliest dog ever. It was like German Shepherd, Chow, and something else. I think it was like a Rottweiler. I don't know, but it was ugly as hell. So upon moving into this house, she ended up passing away. She had no living relatives. She told me I could stay there. It was her house. There was nothing like she really wanted to do with it. She didn't want it to go to the city for them to tear it down because that's the first thing that they were going to do. So I had been staying in this house for, I want to say 4 months before I invited one of my coworkers who was sleeping in his car. I tried to be a good Samaritan, y'all. He was sleeping in his car in the back of the job in the alleyway. So when I got off of work one day, I worked from 4 to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. He worked morning shift, so that's like 11 to 4. So I got off of work and I see him sitting in the front of the store. And I walked out the door. I'm looking at the car like he was supposed to have been gone. It's past 4 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. So I knock on the window and I'm like, are you sleeping in your car? Like, he was like, yeah, he been sleeping in his car for almost a year now. I'm like, dude, like, okay, I have some space in my house. You can come stay with me until you get on your feet. I will charge you $100 a week, which is not bad. Given that I know his hours, we're getting paid like $17 to $18 an hour. So I know you could pay this $100 perfectly fine. Every week, we get paid every week. I should be seeing $100 from you every week. Plus, he had a little side hustle of cutting hair. Was he good at it? I'm not sure. I never seen anybody's hair that he had cut. Anywho, so I invited this man into my home. He started staying in one of the 3 bedrooms that I had. I had 3 bedrooms, and then I had my basement that I had a bed in. But the basement was like a man cave. I'd go down there to kind of escape everything. I didn't want to be bothered. I go down in the basement. He had his own bathroom, his own shower. He had access to the kitchen. I had a couple of rules. Do not touch my snacks. If you know you did not buy this, do not touch it. If you choose to buy stuff to put in the fridge, I will not touch your stuff. Don't go in my room. There's no reason why you should be in my room. There's no reason why you should be opening my door. There's no reason why anything should be moved around in there. There's nothing in here for you. You have your room, you have the bathroom, you have the basement because that's where the washer and dryer was. You have the basement and you have the kitchen. You can even go to the front into the living room. I don't care. You can go in the garage because it was nothing but a bunch of junk in there that I had yet to clean out because I was so busy. Not only was I working my shift from 4 to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, but sometimes I would go work first shift as well from 11 to 4. Sometimes I'd be working from 11 in the morning to 12, 1 o'clock at night in the morning. I love getting a big check. That is like something that is big for me. I love a big check. I love being able to go cash my check and they giving me hundreds. I love that for me. So I went from doing my 2 shifts with them to doing my 4 to 12, 1 o'clock. I ended up getting another job at this club. Now, the club that I worked at, I was either dancing, I was being a bottle girl, or I was being a waitress. I never really wanted to be a bartender because I feel like then I would have to tell people that they would be cut off, and then I don't want to deal with that. So one day, I came home and my room door was unlocked. Now, mind you, I tend to lock my room every day before I leave for work. By the time I'm leaving for work, I leave out at like 3:30 to get there by 4. He's getting off of work at 4 o'clock. Sometimes he leave early than 4 o'clock to get home before that time. But sometimes he be there when I'm going to work. Sometimes he be at work and I see him passing. He was paying me my money perfectly fine. We was doing this for like 2-3 months. He had no problems. He ended up inviting 2 of his friends in, and I don't understand how he invited them into a house that wasn't his, but whatever. He was like, he explained the situation of theirs, and he was like, well, they are homeless. They don't have nowhere to go. He's trying to do yard work. He's older. His wife is, this is what, like he was telling me, his wife is like too old. She doesn't work. She gets a check. Okay, bet. So between the 2 of them, they come up with $100. I put them in the room next to his because my room was farther into the back of the house. I had the main room. The biggest room was in the back. I don't know why the houses are made like this in Chicago, but whatever. So they were doing good. Another 2 months had passed, and I started paying attention because all the work that I was doing, I didn't need their money. I felt like it was more along the lines of teaching them or showing them like you could really, as much money as you spend in here, you could take $100 a week. That's about 4 weeks in a month, 3-4 weeks in a month, and go get you a hotel room. You could have did that easily, happily, like. But y'all are here. So this money that they gave me, it went towards groceries. It went towards when I needed to get washing detergent and things of that nature, when I had to get soap for their bathroom, which I don't understand why I had to get soap for 3 grown folks, but whatever. And then I started to notice, like, when I finally took notice and I stopped and I paused and took the notice of, they haven't paid me in like a month. I haven't seen no money in like a month. So I told them about it. I said, well, I don't understand what y'all got going on, but I'm going to need y'all to get back to paying me my $100 a week. That's $700 a week that I'm getting. Really, $1,400, because $100 from them, $100 from him, that's $200 for 7 days. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I gotta keep these lights on. I have to keep this gas on. I have to keep certain things on. I don't have to pay a water bill, because out in Chicago I found out you didn't have to pay water, because it's like, unless you fully owned your house, which she did, I still paid water for other things. On top of doing all of this, I was attempting to be back in school. I was saving up for school. I was saving up for the things that I wanted and the things that I needed to better myself. And y'all, they fucked it up. I gave them an ultimatum. Y'all can either continue to pay me my money, or y'all can go. Y'all can get out. Simple. Y'all can pay me or y'all can get out. This is not no free trip. I've never seen somebody so mad because they were getting told to get out of somebody else's house. If you are told to leave, just leave peacefully. I ended up getting into it with this man over and over and over again, and I let it build. And I think that's why Egypt ended up snapping. I let it build. So, y'all, I'm sitting at work. I'm in the middle of my shift. It's like 6, 7 o'clock. I get a call from not the first one, but I got a call from the old guy's wife. She telling me, oh, he's in your room and he's trying to take your TV out of your room. Excuse you? So I skirted home. I used my friend Raven car. She was like, I said, let me see your keys. She was like, why do you need to see my keys? And I just snatched them from her. I said, I'll be right back. I'm finna go run to the house real quick. I will be right back. So I skirted off in her car. I hit the door. And when I hit the door, I see him attempting to unplug my game from my TV. Now, I had a PS4. I had a big flat screen TV. I had a smart TV. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what you finna do with my TV? Pawn it? Put it in your room? You have a flat screen TV in your room. They both have flat screen TVs in their room. So there was no reason why he should be touching my TV. There's no reason why he should have been in my room at all. I had my rules. I had my rules set in place for a reason. I don't trust y'all. I lock my door because I don't trust y'all. For you to pick my lock to go into my room lets me know that you have no respect for me and my things, and you need to go. So even after that, I gave him a chance. Y'all, I ended up stabbing that man in his shoulder because I told him put my TV down, and he told me he was going to walk out. He said, make him. I had a butterfly knife. Like, if y'all know what a butterfly knife is, it's got multiple blades. It's got one blade, but some of them have multiple blades. It was purple, pink, and blue. It was so pretty. I was so mad when police took it into evidence. So mad. So I stabbed him with said knife right in his shoulder. And I didn't put it too deep to, like, go through bone or anything. But about this much of the blade was in. And it was just sticking there. I flicked it. Boop, put it down. And he put it down. He called the police. And he told them that I assaulted him for no reason. And I told them that I want him out. And because it was in the middle of a pandemic, they told me that I would have to go to court and get him put out because he was a resident of the home. He had mail there. I did not know that squatters' rights, like, pertain to people, like, that lived in somebody's house. I did not know that. Especially out there. They should have never let him stay. They should have just took him right on out the door when they left with my butterfly knife. So they ended up putting him in the back of the ambulance. He refused to go to the hospital. He signed a waiver to not go to the hospital. They bandaged his shoulder up. Y'all, he went to work the next day, that next morning, and showed it off. Like, she stabbed me. She crazy. She said that if I can't have you, nobody can. And I'm like, excuse you? Now, anybody that knows me knows I'm gay. I'm gay as hell. I love women. I cannot do men. It don't work for me. So everybody up there knew that I did not like men. I liked women. So they looking at him like, oh, you finally got her to bend and she wanted you? You out of all people? You? Oh, please. So by the time I came into work, Everybody looking at me like, why you stabbed that boy? Why you stabbed that boy? And I'm like, bro, he was trying to steal my TV. When I got back to work the day that I stabbed him, after the police had left and stuff, after they bandaged him up, I went to work. I changed. I just couldn't. I set up my room so that I would know if somebody entered it. I set up my camera so that on my phone so that I would be able to catch him in the act if he was to do it. I put my phone on the charger so that it didn't die while it was recording. And I went back to work because my money means everything to me. So upon getting back to work, I gave my friend Raven back her keys. I continued on working like nothing happened. They were like, well, what happened? What happened? Nothing. I just had to go check on home real quick. I kept it very vague. I didn't really tell too many people my business. I kept it very to myself. So a couple of days after that, up to a week after that, I told him get out. He needs to go. Because you're not finna sit here and you're not finna argue with me in my house. You're not finna sit here and try to tell me what is and isn't what you are and ain't gonna do in my house. You're not. I'm sorry, but you have to leave. And you have to take your friends with you because this lady is not cleaning up. You have this other little girl in here laid up with her and you ain't even paying what you're supposed to be paying. You need to go. You and her need to go. Talking about that man, like talking about these people make me itch. Like, ugh. So when it got around time for me to kick them out, I went ahead, I changed my locks on my doors so that their keys would not work. He called the police on me. They made me let him back in because he stayed there, because his stuff was in there. So I was like, okay, I don't understand why this is even a thing. Why I even have to go through this. Like, why do I have to go through this to get these people out of my home? And the police ended up telling me, well, you can go to court and call the courts in the morning and you could explain the situation to them. Y'all, all the courts was closed. I don't know why this officer was claiming I could go to the courts. The courts was closed. Wasn't nobody open. It was the pandemic. We wasn't even supposed to be working because we worked at the fast food. It was fast food, but not fast food, but fast food. We served chicken, spaghetti, fish, Italian beefs, Italian sausages, Italian combos, fries, shrimp, mascacholi, lasagna, and pizza. Sum it all up. Italian pizza. Italian fiesta. And it was a fiesta because they had a bunch of people working there that probably shouldn't be working there. Like me. When I started working there, I did not have no type of identification. They didn't know if I was real or not. They didn't know where I was from. They didn't know where I came from. They didn't know where I lived. They didn't know nothing. And I love that for me because for y'all to let me in, to get these checks, to be working next to the manager, y'all, I went through so much working there. I didn't even care about how much I went through. I would work on a whole side by myself. If I look up and look across, it's just a bunch of niggas on the other side of the kitchen. The other two girls worked in the front on the register. Whenever they did work, it was always 3 girls present at the store. It was me and 2 people for the register. And then it was like 10 to 15, it was like 10 to 12 niggas on the other side of the kitchen. So I was in charge of all the pastas, the Italian beef combos, the fries, the fish, the chicken. I was in charge of that. While they were, the only thing they had to do was build a pizza, put it in the oven, pull it out, cut it, box it, and send it to the front. I did my job by myself, happily, because I don't have time for somebody to be in my way, as females naturally did. Y'all want to be in the presence of these men and these niggas, and they don't. What y'all gonna do? Go on your break, screw in the car, come back, they laugh at you because you didn't been so easy to let them go ahead and do what they do? Whatever. So by the time I was really fed up, I went in. I seen my kitchen. I felt my air. I seen my windows. Y'all, I had dishes all in my sink. Like when I say dishes, it was like buku dishes. Like y'all just cooked, didn't rinse the dishes off, didn't do nothing but put them in the sink for somebody else to wash. And who's gonna wash them? I am, because I can't do it. I cannot do it. I cannot sit and have that many dishes just sitting there, food caked up on them. I can't. Like, it does something to my mental. So when I seen that and I seen the trail of ants, I tweaked. Y'all, I had dishes in my sinks, ants on my counter. My windows, all of my windows in my house was open. Why are the windows open? On top of all of this, my AC was on. On top of all of this, my bedroom door was open. On top of all of this, my speaker that was in my room, I had a speaker that sat like this, like about this tall off the floor. It was really loud. It was playing when I got home. And I thought somebody connected to it like from my room, but I didn't remember leaving it on. So when I walked in the house and I saw my door open and I saw the garage door open, I knew they had went in my room and took my speaker to sit in the garage. You bums. 1, 2, 3 bums. All of y'all are some bums. So I told him, you need to go. I will give you 3 days to find a place to go. And I did so peacefully. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I didn't make a fuss about it. I said it as calmly as I possibly could after seeing that. Y'all have 3 days. I cleaned up my kitchen. I bleached my whole kitchen. Because ants in the kitchen is crazy. For y'all to really sit here and be able to just sit around with ants on your counter is insane. For y'all to feel comfortable enough to go outside and have my AC blowing full blown. It was hot as hell. It was August. It was August the 7th, 2021 when I caught my case. And that was the day that, like, it was like 5 days before that I told them they had 3 days to get the fuck out. So y'all, mind you, I told you I was working 2 jobs. I work one job from 4 to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I go to my other job at the club and I'd be working there till like 7 in the morning. It depends on when the last person left. Like if they passed out drunk, sometimes we wouldn't just wake them up. We like give them some time to really like come to, sleep off the drink and drive home safely, because we're not going to be the ones that are the reason that they get in a car crash. We're not going to be the ones that has to go through that. No, we need you to sober up before you get the fuck out. I decided to go on a binge. Now at that time I was doing a lot. I was popping pills, I was drinking, I was smoking, I was playing with my nose, I was doing a lot. So I really went on a binge and I was gone for 5 days. I was not here. I believe that who was here was Sabrina. I want to believe, but I really know that it was definitely Minx that was here. Minx and Kitty. And they were on a straight binge. They did not care. They literally like would get off of work, and on days that I didn't have to work at the club, I'd be on Lakeshore at the beach, drunk, high as I don't even know why I was at the beach. It would be like 4 in the morning. I'm up and down Lakeshore Drive, my bad. Up and down, like y'all, anybody that's been, it's like this. I'm up and down all night into like early mornings. I'm watching the sunrise out the car. So 5 days later, I popped back up to my house. Now, by that time I had came down from my binge. I had made the money that I need to make, had the fun that I need to have, because I was so stressed with the situation that was at home. So I gave them 3 days, mind you. I ended up giving them 5 because I was not myself. 5 days later, I go to the house and they are all sitting, chilling in the garage. Like y'all are supposed to be here. Why are y'all here? So I started my yelling. I started my fighting. I ended up fighting this man. First of all, I said I was going to call the police on him to get him removed. It was him sitting in there, his friend, the older guy, and the older lady that was all living in the house. So those three were sitting there. On top of that, they had some other nigga there that I didn't even know. I had my dog there, of course. I had a pet. I had my dog there. They had 2 other niggas there that I didn't know. So you'll have 3 niggas in total that I do not know sitting in my garage. Probably have been inside my house. I go in. I thought I'm just going to throw him, his bitch, they and the older people stuff outside. They cannot stay here. They cannot be here. They cannot be here. And when I threatened to call the police on him, he snatched my phone and he threw it. Now, I thought he threw it farther than he threw it, but he didn't. He threw it into the neighbor's yard. I thought like the way he flung back his hand and tossed it, I thought it went farther than it did. But just as I thought, he's a weak ass nigga. Y'all, after he threw my phone, he swung on me because I called him a bitch. And from there, the fight started. These 3 men that I did not even know who they were pulled out their phones, started recording, started yelling at him about how he's getting his ass whooped by a bitch and to fight back. And this man took off down the driveway, and I thought, okay, I'm finna go in this house. I'm finna purge my house of everybody's stuff. Everybody's stuff has to go. And like I told y'all in my last video, the feeling of falling backwards happened. And it happened out of nowhere. In the midst of me like packing stuff up and like putting it outside, I had got through 3 bags of his outside before I felt myself falling backwards. When I fell back, he just came forward. And here we go. She don't care. The fire started. Now, the fire started in his room. And it spread forward at first. The only reason why it spread is because he tried to put this fire out. Now, there were fire extinguishers in the home. And that's only because I had bars on my windows. So lifting up my window, you have to put your hands through the bars and lift it, which is how they opened my windows last time. So I had fire extinguishers because they said that the lady that had the house before me, she said that it was a fire hazard to not have them because of the bars on the windows. So instead of using so-safe fire extinguisher, mind you, the way he came in through the front door. His room is like, here's the living room, here's the other people's room, here's his room, across from his room is the bathroom. Keep going down that hallway, you hit the kitchen and the dining room. Turn, you see my room, my bathroom. Keep going down, you hit 1, 2, 3 steps, you see the back door. Turn this way, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 steps, and you're in the basement. That's the whole layout of the house. That's it. Pop smoke. Y'all, I set that fire so quick. I set that fire so quick. I didn't even have the time to think like, oh my God, what am I doing? I couldn't control nothing. Egypt was fully in control and she did not care. Y'all don't want to leave? Y'all could stay here for the rest of your eternal lives. Your soul will be trapped. So he came in through the front door and he goes into the room. Why would you go into a room with a fire? Beats the hell out of me. But he went into that room, y'all. And when he went in the room, as soon as he stepped his whole body into that room, out of the swing of the door, I closed that door. I held that door closed. Was trying to burn that man alive. Like, I really wanted him dead. Now, we had already, like, in my head, I was thinking about how he had kicked in my door. I was thinking about how he had stood over me in my sleep. I was thinking about while I was at work, he tried to steal my TV. I was thinking about the ants on my counter. I was thinking about all of this while she burned this house down. And I could see why she did it. That whole thing, that whole situation was a very bad situation. And while I was holding that door closed, I felt like I was finna get my peace. You don't need to be on this earth. You don't deserve to be on this earth. But who am I to be lawyer, judge, and executioner? So by the time I let that door go, he had been recording the fire inside the room. He was begging to be let out. The door handle got hot. And I think that's really what made me let it go. Because we weren't like, it was like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't bring myself back. And usually I can bring myself back. But to be so angry as to have Egypt take full out control, I could not bring myself back. Another reason why she scares me. She is very unpredictable. So, when I let the door handle go, I walked out, me and my dog. My dog was in the backyard playing and frolicking and using the bathroom and digging her holes and whatever else she be doing. I went out the back door, out the house, got my dog, went out the yard. And I'm just sitting there looking. I took my dog for a little walk around the block a couple of times. And I guess they had went out the front door. So, y'all, let me tell you how sick in the head. Like, this is just sick. Y'all, I seen the fighters. I seen the lights. I heard the siren. I seen them. I stopped them. I had a whole conversation with them. Like, whole conversation. When I say I had a whole conversation with them, I was like, what's going on? Oh, a house is on fire. What? Excuse you? A house is on fire. Yeah, we are trying to get to the home so that, do you know what house it is? I'm like, no, I hope it's not my house. And they were like, okay, well, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Cute dog. I continued my walking. Y'all, I sat from across the street watching my house burn. I probably shouldn't smile saying that, but I find it so funny because when I tell this story to people be like, why would you be standing across the street watching? Why would you stop and talk to the firefighters? Y'all, I would have never got caught. I started walking the opposite way, turning the corner, and this white lady, she was jogging. She didn't have no dog with her. So for her to stop and attempt to pet my dog was my demise. So my dog was a rescue animal. I got her from these people that were keeping her in the back of a oversized garage. She'd get beat. She was eating where she was using the bathroom, drinking where she was using the bathroom, water dirty, coat dirty. She's skinny as hell. She was a pit bully mix. Her name was Peaches. So she did not take well to being reached for. Like, when the lady reached for her, I think my dog was racist, but when the lady reached for her, she just started going crazy. Like, when I say crazy, y'all, she started going crazy. It looked like she was literally foaming at the mouth. She was barking and growling and wanting to like fight. And I sat her down. Like, I didn't really too much keep a leash on her because of her anxiety. So I finally sat her down. She didn't attack. She was just barking and growling and foaming. No, she did not have rabies. So I'm sitting here and explaining to this lady, like, you see she's off leash. You see what breed she is. You see she's on command, she listens. Why would you reach for a dog that's off leash? Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought your dog was gonna attack me. What the woo. And while I'm listening to her babble, I hear through my other ear, like, there she is. That's the one who set the fire. Oh, shit. I even have been sitting with my neighbors for a little bit because I have my dog over there playing with his dog, which they always do every week. Y'all, me and my dog got arrested. We were both sitting in the back of the cop car. When they pulled up on me, the officer that arrested me was like, if you would have kept walking, I wasn't finna chase you down. You just set a fire to a house. I'm not finna chase you down. You gonna set my cruiser on fire. I ain't set no fire. And I stuck to this story the whole case, y'all. I did not set no fire. I don't know how that fire started. There was a lot of fire hazards. There are fire extinguishers in the home because I know there's fire hazards. There could be a million reasons why this fire started. He kept a heater on the floor. There was carpet in the house. It could have fell over, started this fire. He had a candle. It could have been lit. Knowing damn well I set this fire. But they had no proof. The evidence that they had was the hearsay of 3 witnesses, the 3 that lived in the house. They had the neighbors' cameras seeing the fight. So originally I was charged with aggravated arson and I was charged with aggravated assault. I believe it was with a deadly weapon, but I didn't have no weapon. So these 2 charges, my aggravated assault was the biggest charge that I was really worried about because of the fact that I'm not supposed to be, like, I wasn't supposed to be putting my hands on nobody. I had not been cleared as competent enough to be, like, I was not cleared mentally. So I had no reason to put my hands on that man. But he swung on me first. I refused to get swung on and not hit back. He ain't hit me. But I felt in fear for my life. That's the story and I'm sticking to it. Now, the aggravated arson I wasn't too worried about because they had no proof. When I found out that they had my, they had written statements and did video statements on me, I was pissed. I'm sitting in jail. I'm mad. I had my lawyer come tell me, like, they have evidence against you, Ms. Dillard. We need to figure out what's going on. I need you to tell me what happened. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. I don't understand why I'm here. You should be looking at the people that I was kicking out that would have something to gain from setting my house on fire. So up and down, I swear I did not do it. And for a while, they tried to railroad me. They tried to put me down for murder. They tried to, like, they really tried to get me. They really, really tried. Got to be quicker than that. So in the midst of my case, my 3 witnesses went missing. They ended up showing up. Their bodies ended up showing up. But I'm sitting in jail. So my main witness, which was the coworker, he got shot in the back of his head. My second witness, which was the lady, she died of an overdose, a hot shot. My third witness, they found drugs in his system, but they found him floating. If I'm sitting in jail, how can y'all charge me with murder? If I'm sitting in jail not talking to nobody, I don't get on phones. I don't have no reason to get on the phone. I don't see who I'm finna call. Who am I finna call? My mother? No. My ex-wife? Hell no. I'm not calling nobody. I'm not sending no mail out. I'm not doing none of that. So I think of it as karma. Karma happens. So, yeah. I fought my case for about 2.5 years. I ended up on house arrest. They put me on 2 bands, and then I ended up on parole. That gave me 6 months of parole, and I finished my 6 months of parole. I ended up with my house arrest. They tried to get me on 3 years of house arrest, and that's just while I was fighting my case. I'd still have to show up to court. When I say I had 2 bands on, y'all, I had 2 bands. I will happily never do it again the way that I did it. I would never do that again. Because Class X felony has now caused me to not be able to work a regular job. They look at a Class X and they be like, oh, no, 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 no. That's underneath murder. So, yeah. This is my video. Thank y'all for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications because, baby, this next story time is finna be lit. Bye, my heathen.